How's it going, everybody? We got a big show today. We can see a lot of faces in the squares. Everybody, we're back to a new episode of Ala Udiagina. Welcome, guys. NBA. You guys are ready?
Ready.
Let's get it.
All right, welcome,
Always
Mike.
ready, man.
Welcome, Oliver and Sebastian. What's going on, guys?
Doing well, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Coach, how you doing?
Everything's good.
Always well, man.
You happy the NBA back?
Live and on location. Let's get it.
What about you, Sebastian? What's going on, man?
Oh, you
Got the Miami jersey.
Everything's good out here, man. Waiting for the NBA season to officially start. I'm excited, man. I'm ready. I'm always repping. We good.
You know what that means, Mike?
What does that mean?
That his Twitter is gonna be full about Miami stuff. Everyone has to come to Miami.
Everybody slide.
Get LeBron
we got
back.
space for everyone. Everyone come. We're ready for them all.
Everybody except for Patrick Beverly.
Exactly. Why
would
stay
you-
over there? I don't want.
You wouldn't mind to have him in the bench. You wouldn't mind.
Nah.
For
I don't
energy
want that.
purposes.
Nope. Don't need. Thank you. I don't need that.
All right, guys. So we have a good few topics. We're gonna start with the first one. You remember the trade that they had with Houston Rockets and Washington Wizards? It's I believe Westbrook is going to Washington Wizard, and then John Wall going to the Houston Rockets, and what it was like a 2023 protected pick, first round pick, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, first rounder and John Wall for Russell. Yeah.
All right, yeah, thanks. All right, Mike, I'll let you flow with that one and see who.
Oh, I'm starting.
Yeah,
I'm starting.
Oh
man,
you can flow with that one.
So, the question is who do I think got the better end of the trade? And for a while, I was thinking, obviously the Washington Wizards, because for a team that's been in playoff purgatory for a while now, they have no success whatsoever. Russell Westbrook immediately puts them back in the playoff picture. He could drag a team in the Western Conference by himself to the playoffs. For sure, he could do it on the East. Then I started thinking a little bit more about John Wall's play style, and maybe it's a little bit of recency bias because I just saw him perform in the preseason with DeMarcus Cousins, with that little where'd they go to school? Kentucky. Yeah. So that Kentucky, connection, they both look healthy. I'm really happy for him. And I remember that John Wall wasn't really a ball hog or anything like that. He was one of those point guards that really averaged a ton of assists. Not that Russell Westbrook doesn't, but I think John Wall is a little bit more higher IQ. So I want to say John Wall, Houston got the better end of the deal so far for that team, because we're gonna have to see what the Russ and Bradley Beal dynamic is gonna turn out to be. So I'm gonna side with the Houston Rockets for now.
All right, Coach. Do you think it's gonna be any different if John Wall comes to the Houston Rockets? Who you think? Where's the balance over there?
So with how they performed yesterday in the preseason, I was watching that game, and it's interesting because it's John Wall. I could see similarities where John Wall is the point guard who has the freedom at the top of the key, and John Wall likes to finish with his left hand, right? So I could see similarities to if he was to take the place of James Harden. Now, when James Harden comes back, that might be a little bit different. But like Mike said, I think what's interesting about that is the playing style. If John Wall is heading that team with that kind of play style, with the 5 out, I can see him having a lot of success. But where it gets a little bit tricky is when you add James Harden to that. That's where it gets a little tricky. Now, if we're talking about Westbrook, Westbrook, again, same thing. He's able to carry a team if he wants to. I just think that it might take away a little bit from Bradley Beal. And right now, I think Bradley Beal is the player that needs to get the most touches, because I think Bradley Beal is almost like a 4-level scorer. Where he could score from beyond 30 feet, could shoot the 3 ball, has a deadly pull-up mid-range, can finish at the rim, right?
Boy.
If Westbrook starts holding on a little bit to the ball, so in a nutshell, I think for playing purposes, I think if you give freedom to the both of them, I think John Wall would make the team excel a little bit more than
Dan Westbrook and the
than
Wizards.
Westbrook and the other one. Yeah.
What about you, Sebastian? Oh, what about you, Sebastian? What do you think about that?
I mean, for me, I've been thinking about this a lot ever since the trade actually happened, and it's kind of like a win-win. Though that's how I see it. I think for first of all, for contract purposes, they're both on terrible contracts.
That's a fact.
So they moved two terrible contracts. I believe that end at the same year. So it's a wash in that sense. So the Houston got a first rounder with it. So, and I guess that had to be given because of course John Wall hasn't been healthy in the last like year and a half, right? However long it's been now. It feels like it's been forever since John Wall's been in the league, right?
Like 2.
And it feels good to see him playing again. But personally speaking, I think why I say it's a wash also is also like you have to remember what Bradley Beal and John Wall were doing before. That was a playoff team in the East,
Right.
you know? And I think that when you have John Wall now that's gone over to Houston and you replace him with a Russell Westbrook, I think it all depends on what version of Russell Westbrook you get in Washington.
What do you mean version?
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, you know, like that's the thing. Look, okay, like you can have the Russ that's gonna, you know, dribble and, you know, try to wait last second and dish out. Everyone's gonna know he's not, like, you know, he's gonna attack the rim or dish out. Or you have the one that's like, you know, playing more of like a, you know, team basketball, you know, distributing the ball around, not just you getting the assist, just like, you know, playmaking, doing everything else, you know, like, and I think that him and Bradley Beal can have like one of the best duos that we've seen in a while, you know. And also, like, I don't want to take away from John Wall because when him and Bradley Beal were together, everyone used to look at that backcourt and say, "Yo, this is it right here." You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna work out great for them. I hate to say it because I've always wanted Bradley Beal to leave, but I think this gives him a reason to stay, even though he would have stayed also because John Wall was getting healthy. So we don't know what they would have looked like already with a healthy John Wall.
Sure. And that like, just to cut in for a little bit, and that roster is pretty solid. You got Richie Hachimura, you got Davis Bertans or Danis Bertans, like that's one of the best. Yeah, that's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. So like Sebastian said, it's like it depends on the version of Russell Westbrook. Like who's gonna turn up every night for that team.
He looks ready.
I mean, he always looks ready. He keeps it like
doesn't
you know, like he's always in phenomenal shape. It's just the fact that he just does bonehead plays at times, man. That's the thing that plagues Russell Westbrook at this stage of his career now.
If we get MVP Westbrook, you remember the season he was the MVP? If we get that version, how do you see that? How do you see the Wizards?
You see that's my thing. My thing with that is even with MVP Westbrook, his team wasn't in the running to win the chip. So
I mean, he didn't have a good team.
But
he had Oladipo, but Oladipo wasn't playing well.
I think that's why he got MVP because he managed to like average a triple double with these guys on the court.
And sorry to cut you off, but I'm glad Richie brought that up because he had Victor Oladipo on that team, and I remember a lot of people were lambasting Victor Oladipo as being a mediocre player. When I was like, no, Victor Oladipo is actually a very good player, he couldn't shine next to Russell Westbrook. So I don't think the Wizards don't need MVP Westbrook. They just need Westbrook to be a player that's going to be aggressive for them and have the ability to make shots consistently behind the 3-point line at times. Because I think the engine of that team is clearly Bradley Beal, and they have other complementary parts to help them around now that they have Russell Westbrook, a healthy Russell Westbrook.
And you wanted to add something, Coach?
No, to me that's exactly it. Like if I'm gonna have if we're talking about value to the team, right? Because in my head, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. In my head, I'm just thinking like, okay, what if they trade James Harden right now? Then it's John Wall's team, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So from there, John Wall has the keys to the engine, and John Wall, I feel, will be a better, director, a better general in that sense. His playing style will fit the Houston Rockets as a unit. If we're going to Washington, on the other end, the thing with that is Bradley Beal has to be the best player on that team. that's where I find it's a little bit tricky. That's my only.
But okay, so with that being said, though, because you said that's like if James Harden's being traded away, but as far as we know now, James Harden is staying in Houston, right?
Okay.
Everything is put. Well, you know, he looks like he's going to be gone, but let's say he stays, right?
Mhm.
I actually think that this actually helps Houston also because they actually got Boogie now, and you have a John Wall who's not. He doesn't require the ball in his hands at all time. You know, he's like I said, they're almost so similar, but I think that John Wall has like slightly like a better shot than Russell Westbrook does. He has a better jumper than him, and I think he's more of like a smooth player. Russell is more like bang bang, and especially like coming back from injury, I think John Wall is going to play more of like a methodical point guard position. Like he's going to like distribute more. I don't think he's going to be as explosive. He is. We saw that already. But I think that would fit better with Houston also, which is why I was saying it's a win-win. I actually think this is a trade that's like it doesn't necessarily make you better or worse. It's just maybe the chemistry will work better now for both teams. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's crazy how the players are the same, but like same in similar aspects. But like just by them being traded, them being at different stages of their career, mentally. And all that stuff, career-wise, it's interesting that the players are the same, but both teams kind of low-key get better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And we're gonna find out. We're gonna definitely find out who's gonna be the better team.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on.